Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of You Got This Equestrian. Hayley from Red Bear Equestrian here, and I'm so excited to be joined by Nikki from Clumsy Eventer Confessions, which is her Instagram page, which is absolutely brilliant. So you need to go check it out once you have listened to this episode. So again, we're going to be talking all things horsey, equestrian, confidence, anything else we get sidetracked on. If you want to check out the other episodes, if you scroll up, you will be able to see all of the other episodes that have been out so far. Thank you so much for joining us, Nikki. Do you want to tell everybody about you? Do a bit of an intro, let everyone know who you are.
I'm Nikki and I'm Clumsy Eventer Confessions, and that's because I'm super clumsy and I fall off and hurt myself all the time. I'm 26 and I live in Kent. I have 4 horses, but 2 of them are retired now, so I only compete two of them. I say only, that's a lot anyway. I compete 2 of them. And yeah, that's me basically.
So when did you start riding, Nikki?
When I was 4, so really young. But I started in riding schools, and I rode in riding schools until I was 16, and then I got my first horse when I was 16. So, yeah.
And now you're making it by having 4 of them.
Yeah, definitely. It was a complete accident. I was only ever meant to have 1, and then I just keep adding on and adding on.
Once you get past 3, you don't really notice any extras. That's my theory on it.
Yeah, no, you don't. You do in your wallet, but no.
It's fine. You don't notice another one arrive in the field. It'll be okay.
It's fine. Well, I wasn't the 4th one I got. I wasn't meant to keep. She was actually a project that was meant to be sold, but she's staying.
So who have you got? Who are your 4?
So my 2 retired horses are Lily and Jarvis. Lily's an ex-race horse and Jarvis is a Welsh D, and he's a typical Welsh D. And then the 2 that I compete are Tara and Poppy. And Tara is my older horse who's done a bit more, and then Poppy is the project that was meant to be sold, and she's an ex-racer as well.
Project who's now got a forever home.
Yes, pretty much.
So tell us a little bit about your confidence journey. You've already said you're the clumsy eventer who falls off regularly. Before we even started recording this, we were talking about falls. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your journey with horses and confidence and that side of it.
Well, when I was really small, I was actually mute until I was 10, and so I didn't speak to anyone. And then, but when I was 4, I started riding horses, and that kind of started to bring me out of my shell. And then we moved from London to Kent, and I started riding more regularly and getting more into it, and I just started to come out of my shell more and more. So that helped me with my confidence and just becoming a bit more of a functional human rather than just not talking to anyone and being completely shy. And then, oh God, I've forgotten what I was talking about.
We were just talking about your confidence journey.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And then, so once I came out of my shell, like I've always been really confident around horses and riding and everything. It's not really been something that I've ever struggled with. But I've had some quite nasty falls, and I actually broke my back 4 years ago. And then after that was when I kind of had my biggest mental block, because I was like, I don't want to get hurt again. And then I got hurt again, and I broke my leg 9 months after breaking my back. And so, yeah, after then I went through a couple of months where I just was like, I don't know if I can carry on, because I just, it's not the riding part that scares me. It was that I don't want to get hurt again, because it just took me out for so long. So, yeah, that's sort of
being out of control thing as well, isn't it? When you're on a horse, you've only got so much control.
Yeah, it's just the not knowing. And I got hurt on horses that weren't even mine, so I ended up not being able to do anything with my own horses, and they kind of got put to the side, and I had to ask people to help me look after them and everything because I was on someone else's. So whenever I rode someone else's horse, I was like, please, I just don't want to get hurt again, especially not on someone else's. Yeah,
I completely get that. So when I had my riding accident, I shattered my pelvis and damaged my back and my legs. And if anyone wants to know the story, again, go check out the first video in the series. But yeah, when I did that was 9 years ago, and that was on somebody else's horse, and that then really threw me. But I was the opposite. I was then more confident on other people's horses than my own.
Yeah.
Which was really weird. It was my own that had never done anything wrong that I decided might kill me. Nobody else's.
Oh yeah, that's so strange.
But I think for me, I saw other people's horses being ridden first. So I was like, well, somebody else has ridden it, therefore it's all right, so I'll get on it. Whereas mine, I just dragged them in out of a field and hope for the best. Not that they've never done anything.
And I suppose you're the one who's meant to know your horse the best. And if you're having that doubt, you're like, I don't know my horse. Yeah.
Exactly. And they take confidence from their rider as well, don't they?
Yeah, no, definitely they do. I found that massively because it was Tara, my like older horse, who I was struggling to kind of get back up to that high level because we were competing at BE novice, so quite a high level. And it literally got to the point where I was like, I can't even jump a foot on her because I wasn't confident. So she was just like, no, I can't do it. Like, if you're not going to be there with me and do it with me, I can't do it by myself, and I don't want to do it without you. So yeah, that was why we sort of struggled, because the partnership kind of fell apart a little bit.
And then it's building their confidence up as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We basically had to start from scratch again pretty much, and just because when I bought her, we went from like BE80 to BE novice in a season, and then we had to go straight back down and then jump a couple of 90s and stuff and just build everything back up, just to try and get on the path. And we've still not sort of got back there yet, and we're 4 years later, but we've had lots of ups and downs and injuries, and she's just come back from injury, so hopefully this year we're actually there and we're together, because I feel a lot more confident now as well.
Oh, fingers crossed. And I think people forget about that side of things. Like, we talk about our own confidence, but actually the impact it then has on our horses.
Oh, massively. She's very sensitive, and she feeds off of people all of the time, even like on the ground. So as soon as she knows something's not quite right, she's just on it. She's like, no, something's not right, I can't do it. And I'm like, come on, we can. Yeah.
So you fully recovered then after your accidents?
So my back, it's an interesting injury. So it's a compression fracture. So basically I crushed the whole vertebrae. So it's never going to go back to normal. So I do have trouble with it sort of in my everyday life. But as far as it goes, I think this is the best it's going to get. So I have regular physio to kind of keep it strong. But my specialist actually said that horse riding is really beneficial for it because it keeps your core strong. And that's the main part for your back, is your core. So I have an excuse.
It's a reason to have horses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even though they make me cry all the time.
They are. We were just saying before it started recording, they're so humbling. If you ever sort of start to think anything's going well, they will soon bring you down a peg or two.
Oh yeah, definitely. All the time, without fail.
So what have you got coming up with your horses at the moment then?
So I've entered them both into Munstead at the end of March. So it'll be Poppy's first ever BE event, and she's going to do the 80, hopefully. And then Tara's going to do the 100. We're going to start at 100.
Is it?
Yeah.
So is it full of practice and getting ready? And
yeah, well, my lorry's broken at the moment, so I can't practice as much as I'd like, but hopefully it gets fixed and we can go out and be really ready and prepared for this season. And I've got a lot planned, so hopefully it runs smoothly. I mean, it won't, but you can hope.
It never does with horses, does it?
No. I wrote out my perfect season of what I'd like to achieve, and I'm like, I'm not going to do any of that because it's horses. And like, my horses have a speciality of kind of coming in from the field and being like, oh no, I've trodden on something, I'm really like, my foot's really sore. I'm like, oh great, can't go now. Or throwing a shoe off, being like, no, I didn't want that shoe, it's fine.
They've got a sixth sense, haven't they? The minute you have anything planned or want to do anything.
Oh yeah, massively they do, definitely.
So what were your sort of top tips coming back from your accidents or falls and all the other sort of highs and lows? What have been your top things that you would say have helped with your confidence?
Talking about it to people and having and discussing about it definitely helped me a lot, especially my trainer. She's absolutely amazing. And like, if I'd broke down, sometimes in my lessons I'd break down in tears, and she was so good at just helping me, talk me through it and being like, it's okay, we'll get there, you know, just take a deep breath, think about it, just don't overthink the riding, just focus on kind of getting the right canter to the fences and things like that, because it was mainly jumping that I was having the issues with. So yeah, she was amazing at talking me through it, and that always helped, especially having just a massive support group behind you was huge for me. And I guess I just spent more time with my horses, like on the ground, giving them love and just building that connection again, and kind of just trying to overcome it. Just if I got in my head too much, I would just say, don't think about that, think about something else. Like when I'm riding round, just completely forget about what I'm doing, try and think of something else, and it did kind of help. Yeah,
a good trainer makes all the difference. It's finding the right one that you can actually speak to and connect with and understands.
Oh, massively. She's just been amazing. She's been my trainer for about 8 years, apart from when I went off to a event yard. But yeah, she's been my trainer for quite a while, and we're virtually best friends. So I talk to her all the time, like every night, and just if anything worries me, I don't even hesitate, and I can just send her a message straight away, and I know I'll get a really good reply, and she'll be completely honest with me. She doesn't ever sugarcoat anything, which is absolutely perfect. Is what I need. If I'm being an idiot, she'll just tell me I'm being an idiot, and I'm like, oh, okay, then it does make me feel better.
I think that's what so many people find really hard, though, is actually being able to have those conversations and go, do you know what, I'm feeling rubbish, or I'm being totally irrational. Because I know, like, the one thing that I hated telling anybody when my confidence really went, because it still sounds stupid, was the one thing that freaked me out was my horse going backwards. Don't know why. I didn't go backwards during my accident, nothing. Don't know why that freaked me out. And he never went backwards at speed, and he always stopped before he hit a fence. But that was sort of my thing. And for me, being able to say that was like, I was like, sounds ridiculous. I've been riding for like years and years and years, and the fact that he walks backwards occasionally freaks me out.
Yeah,
it's having that confidence to say, actually, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah, no matter how much you think it might be something silly, you do need to express it, and then someone will actually be able to help you and talk you through it.
Yeah, it's being able to have somebody who's not in your head create like the logical sense around it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, someone else's logic is sometimes a lot better than mine anyway.
Well, we build stuff up in our own heads, don't we? Especially when it's around our horses and we've ridden for years and years, or even if you're not a rider and you've just been on the ground with them, doing work with them for years and years, you have expectations of yourself and what you should be able to do, and when you can't do them, it's a little bit hard to swallow.
Oh yeah, hugely. That's how I felt as well, because I kind of have been competing at the highest level I had, and then to go back to being like I can't even get over this tiny jump, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, everyone's going to think I'm a failure and I can't do it anymore, and it's that plays on your mind as well.
Yeah, what everyone else is going to think, when everyone else actually isn't really that bothered.
No, and that's what I tell myself, like at competitions, if I have a bad time, I'm like, well, I don't care what the person in the lorry next to me's done that day, so why are they going to care how I've done? Because I'm there thinking, oh God, is this going to be embarrassing? Like, I can't believe like I've had such a bad day. But then when you actually break it down and think about it, no one else there really cares how you've done. They just care about how they do. So that's how I try and think about it, and it actually helped a lot.
Yeah, because they're not going to remember when they're driving home in their lorry that night. They're not going to remember how your test went or how your round went.
No.
They're only analysing their own and thinking about what they think they did wrong.
Not at all. And also, it's like, if you think, well, 2 years ago, I don't really remember how that competition went and how I felt after it went badly that day. So in like a year's time, I will forget about today as well. And I would have progressed and been doing something else that day and have something else to think about. So it's just like a moment in time that will pass. And you only really remember the good days. I remember all of my good memories. And I don't really remember many of the bad ones unless I've like fallen off and it's been funny.
Someone's got it on camera, then you remember it.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
But it's true, you do, you phase out all the bad stuff anyway. And horses have those days where it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna have a bad day with them, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And if you're not out doing something where you have to be on them, sometimes it's better to just go, do you know what, if it's going to be one of those days, I just won't ride. It's just not worth it.
Oh, I've done that before. I've been having lessons and my horse has just been like, no, I just can't do it today, not in the mood, just don't fancy it. So I've gone, do you know what, there's no point arguing, we'll just come back another day and try again. And then it's worked. So the next day we've got or not the next day, but whenever we've gone next, they've been absolutely perfect. So some days they just have bad days, like humans have bad days.
Yeah, exactly. But I think sometimes we don't realise or don't accept that because we've got them booked in for lessons, or we know we're on time constraints and so we've only got like an hour to go for a hack or whatever it might be. We've got a routine that they've got to be in because they're a very expensive hobby, and we want to be able to spend as much time with them and use them. And yeah, when they have a bad day, it doesn't always fit in with our schedules, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. The day where you're like, I've got to be really quick, and they're like, no, I'm not leaving the yard, and you're like, oh, come on, please.
Yes, that was mine the other week as I went to go bring him in, and he got so excited because he saw me move a cone. I'm not sure why that was so exciting. He went through the wire fence, smashed all the wire fence, then ran inside and just stood shaking by his hay neck because he couldn't figure out what he'd done wrong.
Oh no.
That was it. There was no way we were riding out that day. There was no way I was getting on him because it was just all going to go downhill.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's completely irrational with them sometimes.
Yeah, there's just no rhyme or reason for it. It just is like that.
No, absolutely. But yeah, I definitely think talking is one of the biggest things that you can do, and just realizing that you're not by yourself. I think sometimes with sort of confidence issues, you can feel really alone.
Oh yeah, hugely, because you are in your head, and you think you're the only person that's going through it as well. That's how I felt. I was like, oh, like no one's going to really understand because no one else is going through this. But people do. Everyone goes through not exactly the same, but similar issues, and their experience. You can learn from their experiences, and it definitely helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you going to be documenting your journey over this year on your Instagram? Is everyone going to be able to keep up with what you're doing?
Yes, I will be. Hopefully, anyway, if we actually get out, because you never know.
No, just glad shows and stuff are back now, and we can actually go out to events again.
Oh yeah, it's really nice to actually be able to plan something instead of thinking we're going to have nothing to do.
Yeah, our horse is going to be a nightmare when we finally get out because they haven't seen another horse in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
I think that's been really hard for people, has actually been going back to events when they've had such a long break from it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had that because when like the show started back up again, my horse had got an injury and I didn't go out competing for ages. And then the first time I went out show jumping, I was like, oh my God, I haven't done this in like a year or two. So I was like, what do I do? I can't remember. Am I going to remember the course? It's just, you get really anxious because you're like, I know I can do it, but I just haven't done it in such a long time.
Yeah, and the horse hasn't done it in such a long time either. It's sort of new for everybody going back into it, isn't it? It's not to have too much pressure on yourselves the first few times you go.
Oh, definitely. Just try and have fun. That's how I see it now. I used to be really competitive and be like, I really want to do well and do this, but now I've got to the point where I'm like I like to do well, and it's a bonus when I do well, but I just want to have a fun day. Like I just, even if it goes pear-shaped, just laugh about it and actually enjoy your time with your horse, you know. That's because with Lily, one of my horses that's retired now, I used to take her out and we'd like get up super early in the morning, plat, and then we'd get eliminated at like the first fence, and she would have reared in the dressage, and then I'd end up having it like crying, and I hated it, and I was just so upset, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm just gonna say whatever happens. I'm just gonna enjoy myself, and that's all I want to do now is just have fun. You spend too much money to not have fun.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
Definitely.
Amazing. Oh, Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today. I've loved chatting to you.
That's okay.
Like I said, I'm going to add Nikki's Instagram into the comments, and you can go and catch her at Clumsy Adventure Confessions. But yeah, thanks so much. And I'm excited to see you getting back into show jumping this year.
Thank you for having me.
All right, take care and catch everybody soon.